the end of the day. You gotta feel good at the end of the day. It's all that matters. Oh, I pray just to feel good at the end of the day.
I still feel bad for old Blurble the Gerbil. That poor dude. He was doing his best. I really do think he needs a spin-off series. I wish he could have been my companion. So that's one thing. I because my character is an actor, it's like, oh, I should have like a lot like the charisma abilities and stuff like that. And then there is a mastery type that lets you like control your companions better that I was really leaning or looking towards getting. I'm so glad I didn't, because I have not had any opportunities to have a companion down here. Snarf! Shut up, Snarf. Yeah, I think I would have taken Blurble the Gerbil. I think we would have been a pretty elite squad. But alas, he chose violence. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Speaking of, let's upgrade that combat skill. All right, so let's just see where we are. We're in 12, and I think we're making it down to the bottom. I think this is it. We have made it down to the last area. The one thing I didn't do is I did not roll to see if my bladed weapon went up. I would have to roll basically a 68 or above to get to roll a d4, but nonetheless, it's at least going to go up by 1, which we're kind of hitting the point now where it's pretty hard to level this thing up, but once I hit 80, that's it. Let's go for a 68 or above, please. Wow, I got it. Let's roll a 1d4. A 2. Okay, so I doubled what I would have done otherwise. So I got a 69. Excellent. For some reason, I can only do a Keanu Reeves impression for certain movies like Dracula. I can't really do a Bill and Ted one. I can only do like Dracula. It's the same man. He's grown young. Okay, so 69 for a bladed weapon. Fantastic. I will happily take that. Thank you. Let's clear these out and let's see what we've got here. So we're up on 12 right now currently, and we're making our way down to 13. Oh, I think this is I just hit the next area. Okay, let's make our way down here. Scaffolding. You can see the city clearly now, its thoroughfares picked out below in lines of ghostly light. The walkways are thicker here, reinforced with beams at odd angles and lashed together with dense webbings of rope. Great. Far below, furred bodies scurry through the streets in packs. What am I doing here? Wisps of rat light drift in the air like paper lanterns rising up towards your feet. At the far end of the city, you see a sickly green glow bleeding from the windows of a structure that resembles a cathedral. Ooh, boss battle. Although you doubt it belongs to any faith you could imagine. And from all around the cavern, having started so faintly you could barely notice, but now impossible to ignore the din, you hear the sounds of industry. Ratkin run along the walkways and vanish into holes in the walls, and hammers and picks chip, chip, chip away at the natural stone. Oh, these little jerks are up to something. Should you fall from the edge while in the scaffolding, you might not die. Oh, that's reassuring. You may attempt one desperate grab to save yourself. Again, I got my hook. I think I'm okay. Otherwise, you roll 5d20 plus 20. So that means basically the least you're taking is 21 points of damage, and that is the least. And then you just kind of randomly drop on a just random area in the area below us. Don't want to do that. So here we are, we're at 13. You stand atop a network of wooden platforms and walkways. They are scant at the top, but thicken as they descend, becoming a chunk of metropolis that has been slapped onto the bare stone. Coils of rope, empty buckets, stacks of wooden planks, I could use some crafting tools, and other construction materials are strewn in piles in preparation for being carried up to the borehole. That's where I've come from. Sinister defenses. The first time a character arrives in this room, that's me, the Ratkin have trapped the platform. That sounds about right. Warren traps are here. Oh, here we go. And then it says after that, construction materials. I can basically get 6 construction materials. So I'm glad I didn't go through all that stuff with a pickaxe and all that stuff. First and foremost, tension. My tension die is a d6, which again, I'm not super keen on how fast I'm moving through these tension die. But let's go ahead and roll that and roll a 1 or a 2 like I'll probably do. I try reverse psychology on the dice, and that doesn't work either. I'm down to a d4 already. That is insane that I am on the cusp of my next Growing Darkness event. I am on room 13. It should take like 25 rooms to get to this point where I am on the growing tension. But I am blowing through these dice. I'm getting lucky in combats, so I guess it's a karmic trade-off. All right, traps. Jeez. 2. Structural instability, which makes a lot of sense. An uneven patch of ceiling breaks open, sending debris sluicing down on you. Well, let's see if I see it happening first. Nope, didn't get it. It was a impossible check. Make a dodge check. What is my dodge now? It's a 20. Nope. Okay, suffer 2d4 plus 1 bludgeoning damage plus another one. Oh. So again, every time I take damage, I take an extra point of damage. So super thrilled with that. So 2d6, I take the highest of these. Fantastic. I take a 1, and then I add 2 to it. So I took 3 points of damage from this as it comes crashing down on my head, or sluicing down on my head like a sluice box, like I'm mining for gold. Additionally, roll a d6, a result of a 1. Oh, means that I found some gold among the rubble. So it is a sluice box. Holy crap! I rolled another 1. Great. I find 2d10 ore amongst the rubble. Wow, that was a lot of 1s there. Okay, 2d10. Yeah. All right, 13 more money. I'll take that. Find some ore. That lands on my head. 107 coins. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Guess that could have been worse. Could have been better. But I got paid for it. I'll take some bludgeoning damage to my skull for a little bit of money. This area is called Hole in the Sunken Sky, which makes sense because a hole just opened above my head. Okay, construction materials. Only once 6 crafting supplies can be harvested here. I'm doing that right now, which again, at the rate I'm going, I can make that go a really long way. That could be like 3 sleeps for me. 6 more crafting supply, which puts me up to 10, which is great. What else we got here? Bitter powder. A small box of pungent dust has been left by a stack of wooden planks. Make a demanding, which is a -10 medicine check. Not super great at medicine. 24. Nope. On a success, I would have identified it as rat accelerant, which I have. On a failure, future characters may try to figure out what it is. There is no future. It is now. This room is large and takes additional time to cross. Make a stealth check or run into a worn encounter before leaving. All right, stealth 20. I think that I've only had to roll this twice in this entire Warren of the Ratkin. I made one up above, right before I started going down into the borehole, and I just made it here. I rolled a 6. Okay, so no Warren encounter. I'm going to keep on moving. I got to cross off some light. So for the first time ever in the entirety of stepping into darkness, when I did my own domain in the Venom Vale, and now, this is the first time I've used a full torch. Okay, let's get moving. Why am I possibly going, oh, look, a city of people who hate me and want to kill me on the spot. Let's go there. We are in the outer pickets. So we're making our way here. I was like, oh, let's go check this out. All right, a series of barricades. I love barricades. I feel at home in barricades. Have been constructed on these platforms, all pointed inwards towards a cave. The back of the barricades, the side facing you, is completely exposed. Okay. On first arrival, the first time a character enters this room, there is a Ratkin Fusilier squad attempting to hold back a Death Whelk from escaping the cave. The Death Whelk has grabbed and poisoned one of the Ratkin, and as you arrive, it flings the Ratkin off the platform to arc down to the city below. Should have had a belt hook. You may take advantage of the confusion and fight first the Fusilier squad and then the Death Whelk, each with half-third normal health. Otherwise, the Fusilier squad kills the Death Whelk and is ready for you when you challenge them. Huh. It sounds like I have to fight. I'm pretty sure these are the dudes that have, like, rifles. I saw pictures. So it sounds nice that I'm not, like, fighting them at the same time, or am I just fighting a full health Fusilier squad? Let's fight both of them just so we can see what they both are. I mean, now I'm just like, well, what would my character do? But, like, me as the player, I'm going to see all, like, the crazy things and all the madness I can fall into. I'm going to fight them both at half health. Fusilier squad, then Death Whelk. All right, here we go. So I think it's these dudes here. I think it's these guys. These people, like who I'm fighting. Let's see how this turns out for us. The long arquebuses of the Ratkin, that's kind of hard to say in a plural, are a mystery to those few surface scholars who have ever gotten their hands on such a piece. Intricate carvings inside the barrels seem to be solely for the ritual purposes, as the long spiraling lines could not possibly affect the velocity or flight trajectory of a shot. And worse, the breech is far too slender to accommodate a sensible amount of saltpeter. Every surface test of one of these weapons has blown it up, casting doubts on the Ratkin's ability to operate them, none of which seems to be a deterrent to the trio of Ratkin currently shooting at you. Oh good, there's 3 of them. But they all have 3 health, but that still means I have to kill 3 of them. Oh man, and their combat skill's good too. Penetrating 1, so they pierce my armor, which I actually, for a change, I do have a good bit of armor now. Volley, boys! Once more into the breach, dear friends. That's physical. They have 2 physical attacks, which is good, because I can actually do something about that. And then the venom gas, I just gotta deal with it. Okay, I want to get the jump on them. We know how this game goes. I don't think I can surprise them. It says I could take advantage of the situation, but I don't think I'm surprising them. So it is their mind, which is a 55. 3. Well, they succeeded, but they got like a really, really low roll, so I may be able to pull this off. And this is my perception, which is a 46. Come on. That's a 76. I like to call that a fail. So unfortunately, I have 3 gun rat men going first. Let's see what the first one does. This is butt stocks, physical, so I can block this, or I can try to at least. The rat can advance with their weapons reversed, ready to stave in your skull. So they're trying to gun butt me. They make a melee attack. Okay. Combat skill is 45. Come on, fail. 007. So he got my James Bond roll. But here I go. I have a 79. Just want to roll below a 79, but above a 7. I succeed. So he comes up to gun butt me, and I really quickly pull out my blade. I probably blind him a little bit with my torch. I spin around and I just swing my sword at him. I'm using my parry ability, my riposte ability. This will cost me a point of exhaustion, but I can make an attack doing this. And from the wording from it, it did make it look like just an attack, just a normal attack on them. And I guess they get to do a defense and all that kind of stuff too. So let's roll that now. Their defense is a 45. That looks like a 29. And then my attack is I have an 89. Crap. I failed. So it succeeded. Okay, so we go back and forth here. This thing's a little bit sprier than I thought. So if you remember, it tries to gun butt me. I spin around and I just try to do a quick slash on it. It leaps out of the way, and then it made its defensive check. So we both made 2 defensive checks here. So we're seeing what it pulled off with its defensive check. Please don't be something awful. The creature gets a new turn immediately. Oh my gosh. So it makes sense. He just charges at me. So here he comes rushing at me again. And it has a 45. That is a fail. And then it is my turn. I am going to try to parry again. Is this starting to stack? I guess it does. I guess I'm at a minus 20 on this, because I'm already starting to stack. I do succeed, and I critically succeeded because I rolled an 11. Cool. I'm going to mark that on my bladed weapon, so it's going to be next time I camp, which maybe after this combat, the way this is going, it will be up to a 70 at the least. Okay, so I critically succeeded. This is still the first freaking opponent. So I'm assuming his friends are behind him, looking at this death whelk or whatever the heck that thing is. And then they're looking at me and they're just reloading their ammunitions, getting their tear gas or their venom gas canisters ready to lob at one of us. So its combat skill is reduced because it is making a defensive check again. I think that's how it's going to go, because it's defending itself. It is doing the same thing again to defend itself, because we've gone back and forth now 4 times. I think I'm going to go for it because I think it's just at a 35 and I'm at an 89. So let's go for it. It failed. I, on the other hand, did not. Okay, that did take a point of exhaustion. Wow, that was pretty crazy. We had a tit for tat going right there. I think it got 2 attacks and I got 2 attacks. But I did, it looks like, come out on top of that. And now I'm rolling for my damage. I'd love a 4. There we go. 4 or 5. It does, and a 6. Doesn't matter. It wasn't a called shot. It was just a hit. It may have been critical because I rolled doubles. But maybe that was on my defense. I can't even remember. It doesn't matter because I did enough damage to kill that guy. So this dude rushes me and I finally take him out. That was actually a really cool rally we had going there. And I'm still not even done because the next one's going. And it is going to do a 6. This is the same thing. He's rushing me as well. Maybe it just realizes they have to charge me because they don't have enough ammunition or something like that. Thankfully, it is physical, but I am now at a -40 because if you keep using the same defensive ability, it starts to weaken by 20 each time you use it per round. So I am pretty weakened here. So he's at a 45. Let's see how he does. That's a 57. Great. That is a fail. I am trying to parry. I have a 69 -40 plus 10 because it's a longsword, so a 59. And then I did just successfully land an attack, which should bump it up another 10 because I have abilities. Holy crap. That is another critical success. That is a 33. Well, I'm doing my repost again. I'm going to spend the exhaustion. I know I'm going to this exhaustion quick. I just don't want to deal with multiple enemies. And I still have this other fight like waiting in the wings on me. So I'm going to take advantage of this. And I am going to try to hit this guy. It's going to try to defend itself. It does. It rolls a 2, which isn't amazing. I just want to roll between like a 2 and an 89 when it comes down to it. Crap. That is a 96. Dang it. Okay. It's getting a little hard to keep track of in my head at the moment. So the enemy gets to roll a d10. A 6. What'd you get, you jerk? Okay, so they get a plus d6 with damage pool. I still haven't got gone yet, so I'm definitely going to try to hit that guy next. His friend is going now. Jeez, this has been a long first round of combat. Same thing. Apparently, they're running out of ammo because they've been spending it all on this guy, or maybe their weapons actually don't work. So he is rushing towards me again. I think I'm at like a -60. That stinks. I'm at a -60, but I have a 79. So I have a 19% chance. Let's just roll that now. Holy crap, I got a 19. That's pretty cool. I would love for this guy to fail. That would be awesome. He is at a 45. A 66. That is another critical freaking fumble. Man, this has been a weird round. Okay. So I'm going to roll to see how bad it screwed up. The creature trips and falls, wasting their action. It is prone, and it must use its next turn to get back up. Great. Prone is it's easier for me to hit, but I think I'm going to go for his friend, who has the larger damage pool. So I succeeded. I could spend a point of exhaustion right now and try to attack him, but I'm not going to because he's going to spend the entire next round getting up. So his turn's going to be spent getting up. So his turn's wasted. Now it is finally my freaking turn, and I'm going to try to hit the guy now who has all of the damage. Oh, actually, since I won, I'm going to roll on the defensive table. I get an 8. You press your advantage, reducing your opponent's next defensive check by -20. That's fantastic. It is my turn, and that is what I'm going for. It is not a called shot. I am just hoping for the best that I can do 4 points of damage to him, because that's all it'll take to kill him. I'm going to just roll his defense right now. He does not make it. I am at an 80 freaking 9. I make it with a 10, barely. So again, they just come charging me, and they're just, apparently they've run out of ammunition, and they're just trying to gun butt me and hit me with their weapons. And I'm just kind of like doing my best to duck, and there's so many of them. That's why it's been so hard in this combat. I'm just like spinning and ducking and slicing and swerving, just trying to get out of the way of being hit by their stupid butt of their guns. I do hit this one, and I want to hurt him. I want to at least roll a 4, and then I don't need to even worry about where I hit him in the body. There's a 6. He's down. Great. Goodbye. Then it is back to their turn. All he's doing on his turn is standing up, if you remember, because he was knocked prone. He just gets back up, and that he spent his turn doing that. And then it's my turn, and he's just looking at me with my bloodied sword, just kind of staring at him and smiling as he holds up his gun that doesn't seem to be working very well. And I swing at him. A 27, and it has a 45, so it could beat me here. And it did. It got a 39. He beat me. What a butt face. So let's see what he gets out of this. Man, this has been a fun fight. This has been like the first like really crazy back and forth fight I've had in a while. A 10. It gets a new turn immediately, which he may not want, because I may just, actually I won't spend the exhaustion to stab him. Wait, whose turn is it? It was my turn. Oh, so he get to go twice. All right, well, let's see what he does. Oh, volley, boys. The Ratkin discharged their weapons. Okay, so maybe it was, I'm thinking like the Civil War of like how, you know, how they like load and they pull the little stick out and they put the little paper, they pull the paper out and they pour it in there and load. And It's really kind of awkward just watching them slowly walk towards whoever they're fighting. So anyway, but this dude finally discharges his weapon, sending lead whipping past my face. It is physical, so I do get to like prevent this from happening. So let's see how this goes. Let's have him crack his shot right now. That is a big miss. So he just pulls up his gun. I quickly slap it aside with my sword. So I'm at a 79. A 92. We both failed. So, and then I think it's his turn again. Man, this has been a tough one to keep track of in my head. I think I'm doing okay. So he holds up the weapon. I slap it aside. He fires and then just like flips it back around and just uppercuts me with the butt of his stupid gun. So he finally did hit me, it looks like. So I just took 1 point of damage for that though, because it's just the defender just loses a point of damage when the dice come down that way. And then it is his turn again. So he pulls out, now he realizes, shoot, the butt of my gun didn't hurt him too much. I'm out of ammo. And then he just has this like little gas canister here on his like chest probably. The Ratkin chuck a hissing metal bottle in your direction. White smoke already pluming from its depths. Make an endurance check. Okay. 25. Come on, vials. Put you up there for a reason. Not that reason. I don't know why I put them up there. Okay, that is a fail. I take a point of venom, so my venom is up to 8. I'm not the biggest fan of that, obviously. And then I am blinded. And I think what that means basically is I can just make normal attacks. And I can't do like a called shot. I can't target specific body parts. I just have to do a normal attack, which is fine. Because I just got to do 3 points of damage when it comes down to it. Come on. 89. 20. He could still beat this. Not when he rolls a 96. So I got him. Thank goodness. I just want to roll a 4 or above. That's a 3. That's a 6. Doesn't even matter what the last one is. Finally. So it's all like smoky and whatnot, and I'm just kind of like swinging around, and I can probably like hear him like trying to reload his weapon, really frantically reloading his weapon while the death whelk is slowly making its way up on us. And I just kind of just stab blindly, and it just kind of right in the neck. So I missed his head, but I got him right in the neck, and I pull it back out, and now I have to deal with the death whelk. So let's see what the heck that thing is. And this may literally be our entire session is this fight, which this has been a good fight. Honestly, like I haven't had a good blow for blow fight. And I am glad that I did camp because I've already burned through a bit of exhaustion. I've taken a little bit of damage here, and I'm not super thrilled with this death whelk. Oh, I was supposed to take an extra point of damage for all damage dealt. And if you do remember when I just said I got gun butted for 1 point of damage, I think that should have been 2 points of damage. When both people fail, the defender takes a point of damage, but in all fairness, I think that should have been 2 points of damage. Oh, yay! This is not a humanoid. So they do not get that extra 10 points of combat skill. I'll take it. Sailors from distant shores would be overjoyed to pull in such a feast in their nets. Well, for a moment at least. After which, the whelk would spear them with its striking tendril and leave them to bloat in the water. Oh no! It has no head. Its hit locations are unique. It has no critical place to hit. It is vulnerable to fire and acid, both of which I can't do. I guess I have things that can do it. Health is 6. That's not too bad. I think in 2 hits I should... Ooh, speaking too soon. As I was saying, in 2 hits I should take him down. His armor is 3. This is by far the most armored thing I've attacked. So it does have a physical attack, which I can counter. It doesn't have any magical attack, so I'm not doing my Professor Xavier anti-magic field. But I am obviously always doing my little mind blur thing to knock his combat skill down 10 when he attacks. Which I will write that down just to remind myself of that, because I do have had a lot of modifiers in this session. Hopefully you've been playing along at home and watching me screw up. All right, opposed check. It's mind, 35. It doesn't have a great mind score, so I could get the drop on this thing. There we go. That is a fail. And then I have a 46. A 47, both failed. I missed by 1. And my perception of 45 is higher than its mind of 35. So I do get the jump on it. Whatever it is, it has armor 3. So it doesn't really matter where I hit this thing. It's blocking 3 points of it. And so going for a called shot isn't going to double that damage. So, wow, this would be tough. So I have to roll a 4, 5, or 6. This may take a few hits, unless I get lucky here, which I get lucky on occasion. Here we go, 89. And again, my attack is, if I do succeed on the attack, I get a +10 to my parry ability. So I want to hit this not just to do damage, but also to help me defend myself. So I see this nasty thing coming up. It's already kind of injured, and it's probably like riddled with all the bullets those dudes shot. And it's just like slowly sloughing its way towards me. Pokey pokey. That is a hit, a 20. And then it has a combat skill of 25 when it's defending. Great. That's a 99. I like to call that a humongous critical failure. They got a critical fumble defending themselves. I think if you fumble defensively, it doesn't really matter. You're just a dum-dum. That's like the second time that's happened, though, a critical fumble on a defensive check. Okay, so I do hit. It doesn't matter where I hit, because it looks like he's got armor. So let's go. D4, come on. Come on. Shoot. I did nothing. That was a bad roll. But I don't hit him. I try to slash out at him, and I can't land anything. And now it's its turn. Man, that sucks. It is doing shell games. The Whelk withdraws into its shell. Until the Whelk's next turn, non-magical weapons that strike its shell hit location are shattered. So now it makes more sense why it says unique and shell. So he's hiding. And the thing is, that's fine. So for my turn, I'm going to wait and see what it does. But it can do this 50% of the time it's going to do this. So I'm going to wait. So it just like turtles up. And I'm just going to stand there with my sword at the ready. And I'm not going to do anything. There are some other things. I could throw stuff from my belt at it or something like that. I'm going to just wait and see what it does. So I'm in a holding position here. It's still like in its shell. I'm waiting longer. That's fine. Oh, here we go. So while it's there, then it starts doing whatever this is. Eternity as striations on a scavenger's shell. The patterns on the Whelk shell entrances you. That's what it's probably just like charging this thing up. Make a resolve check or lose 1 sanity. All right, a resolve check, 40. All right, there goes a sanity. But I think that means I can attack it now. So it kind of like oogly booglyed a little bit, and it came out of his shell and started doing this like little light show for me. So it is my turn. I have an 89. That's a 26. It could block this. It fails horribly. I do hit. So again, it came out with this little oogly boogly, and I'm like, ooh, Elder God? And I still attack. There's a 3. Not good enough. God bless. Come on. The last 4 rolls on a d6 for damage have been 1s. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is its turn. It's doing its oogly boogly. That was a resolve check. 40. Is that a 20? It is a 25. I make it. So I kind of like see past this thing. And this is where I get really angry. And I hit. It needs to critically succeed. Got a 007, but not good enough, baby. And here I go. Come on. There we go. That will be a hit. That will be a hit. Just 1 point of damage. I'm waiting. Come out, come out. Knock, knock. All right, here we go. Harpoon. It is a physical attack. So it's just kind of sitting there waiting, and I'm sitting there waiting, and then just like, it does this spear tendril striking out at me. This would be a 35. Let's see if it catches me off guard or not. A 34. I was not ready for this. I still get to roll. Did I hit? I did hit on my last attack. So I'm at an 89 to block this. 97. It hit. It hit. Wow. It strikes out trying to pierce your heart. If it hits, 2d4 plus 1 piercing damage. If it inflicts damage this way, which it's going to, make an endurance check or suffer 3 exhaustion and poison 2. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, I do have ways to get rid of poison and all that stuff. So, woo, this has turned into a freaking fight. Okay, so 2d4, it's actually going to be 2d4 plus 2 because I'm taking extra damage. 5. Woofa. Okay, I'm down to 20 toughness, which is okay. Endurance check. This is what's going to start stinking here. 25% chance. I got it. Thank goodness. I didn't want to suffer those 3 exhaustion. I definitely didn't want to take being poisoned. It did come out of his dumb shell. So it is my turn. So I am now attacking it because it is back out, and I'm going for that tendril. A 29. It can defend this. It does not with a 69. It's the same man. He's grown young. Let's see here. So I hit. Come on. There's a 6. That's what we want right there, a 6. That will do 3 points of damage, knocking it down to 2. So this thing, like the tendril, it actually like sticks in me, like the barbs kind of stick in me. I quickly lop it off and just do a quick counter slash, and I just hit something meaty. I don't even see what it is before it goes back into the shell. That does put my next defensive parry up to another plus 10, and I am now ready for this guy to make an attack. It is doing the harpoon again. It knows it has to go for the kill. It is at a 35. That is a 90. I am going to block this because I'm awesome. Crap. That's a 93. We both fail. I am the defender. I take 2 points of damage for that. Normally you take 1, but I take 2. We're just going to say that it just kind of hits me with its broken tendril. It can't like barb hit me anymore, and it can't like pierce me anymore, but it still does like some concussive damage to me. And then I am going to be angry and attack him. I have an 89. That is a 79. It needs a critical success. It did not get it. I need to roll a 5 or a 6. There's the 6. That was a fight. Both of those were a fight. I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, I just lost 3 exhaustion and 12 toughness. Maybe like a sanity I lost as well on top of that. That was a fight. Okay, let's see all the goodies I get from this. My gosh. Pearls. Oh, 2d100. Yeah, so it just falls on the ground and just poops out some pearls for me. So that's how it works, right? They poop them out? That's a low roll. 58. That stinks. I should have averaged 100 out of that. I got 58. Of course this thing lets me down. But nonetheless, I'm still doing pretty good with money here. 165 coin overall. But let's see what those idiots with the guns have. Warren valuables are here, and 2d20 coins. 4. So they had 1 coin each, and someone had an extra one. Okay, wow. 169. Excellent. And then Warren valuables are here. I get a roll on that fun table. That is a d20. Let's roll now. That is a 7. It is a smoking torch. Sputters and emits horrible vapors, but seems resistant to going out. Lasts for 15 rooms and inflicts -3 on your attack checks, but cannot be extinguished. Works underwater. If you set camp while it is burning, it burns all the while and is used up when your camping ends. Lasts 15 rooms. Inflicts -3 on your attack checks. So it's just a crappy torch that I got. Okay. Let's go back to the room. Warren valuables are here, 3 of them, and they have stashed several boxes of grub near the entrance. You may always eat from the boxes while you were here. So it's like, benefiting as if you've eaten a ration. That's kind of nice because it gives you like exhaustion back, I think. I'm sure there's a but. However, the grub is quite literal. It is a meal worm. It's thick, fatty larvae, several different kinds of beetles. So you may not take it with you without it wriggling out of your pack. If you process the grub, you may gain D6 plus 2 cooking supplies as a series of modest protein briquettes, but this uses all of it. Future characters may not partake of the squirming bounty. That's fine. I'm going to just, I guess I just see them all and I just like, I just kind of squish them into like, you know, those like meal bars, like the fruit bars, and they're kind of like, they're like thick fruit roll-ups. That's what I turn them into. And so D6 plus 2. Yay, 7. So 7 cooking supplies. That puts me up to 10. So I got my grub bars. I get 3 more Warren valuables are here. 1, 2, 3. Another 7, which is the one I just got. A 2 and a 20. Tainted ether potion. Oh, God, I have not used ether, I think, since I've been here. Something swims on the other side of the glass. Spend to fully recover your ether, but suffer D4 venom. Okay. 7 is that another smoking torch. So I have 2 smoking torches and a 20. I think that's the grenade, isn't it? No, I haven't rolled a 20 yet. Uh-oh. Ooh. A curious arachnid face thrusts through a gap in the wall. From the other side, a muffled voice urges you to stay still. The spider's instincts are quiet for a moment. Its abdominal brain is in control, and the web dweller is willing to barter. The web dweller has the items listed below for sale. It is also willing to buy 2 items per encounter at half their listed price. If no price is given, it buys each for D100 coin. These items cannot be ones it sells already, okay? The web dweller's inventory refreshes each time it is encountered. So this trader is just kind of like, this is Pennywise in his little spider form. he just kind of goes around through little crevices. So he may pop back up. That's pretty cool. It's because it's the same dude. I don't go back to him. I just hopefully find him. And it sticks around in this room until the area becomes hazardous, until it's encountered somewhere else, or until you set camp. So when you set camp, he'll leave it too, apparently. If attacked, no. He drops his inventory and withdraws into the cramped network. And after this, it will not show up again. I'm not going to attack him. Okay, let's see what I can get. A belt, don't need. A backpack, don't need. Rations, don't need. Lockpicks, don't need. Torches, don't need. Flares, don't need. Come on. Cooking supplies, don't need. Potion of rest. I don't know what that does. Actually, I could maybe use that, whatever that is. And crafting supplies. That's it? Oh, man. I could sell some of my stuff. It's just 2 things. Let's look what Potion of Rest does. And then what I'll probably do is really go through my inventory here. Maybe we'll start here for next session. I'm going to mark off my light now and think of like really kind of see what I want to sell. Because I think I have like 2 magic weapons. Maybe I'll just look at that real quick. Because I do have 2 magical weapons with 1 magical property each. One of them is the Warhammer. And then the other one is the Ethereal Requiem Blade. That's a relic. I don't know if I can sell a relic, actually. What do I have worth a lot of money? I think I'm going to go before painstakingly do this while I'm recording and like seeing like all the crap I could possibly sell. I'm going to like just figure out what makes the most sense for me to sell. But I am going to sell that weapon. And let's see what a Potion of Rest does. So I'm going to sell a weapon, and the weapon has 1 property to it. And I do know that they will buy that. I'm going to sell the Warhammer. So he'll buy that for 200. So that will give me 369. Excellent. Oh, they do buy relics for 1,000. Huh. Do I sell that relic? I can sell 1 more thing, and then I want to see what that Potion of Rest does. Will he buy potions? I've got 4 of them. I don't know what the freak they do. I was really, really wanting that belt light. That's what I want. I was really hoping to have that. That would let me wield my weapon with 2 hands. Potion of Rest. Reduces your exhaustion by D4. That's not that bad. And then I also need some toughness back. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold here because I really want to think this one through. And I don't want to just like drain my computer's battery or storage space while I just like sit here. I edit out so much of these videos. You guys have no idea how much hits the cutting room floor. Most of it is me like cussing at myself because I can't find what I'm looking for, or just pondering. So let's hop back up to the top, and then yeah, I'll let you go. Wow, that is crazy. I was not expecting that fight to be the one that was like the most intense. And granted, it was only like half my toughness and all that stuff, but it was just the give and take of it. That was a really great fighting session. We didn't get very far, but we are kind of on the lower tier, and I'm excited to see like what the heck is going to happen when I get down to the bottom of this thing. Like, because they're everywhere. I can't take on an entire city, so I'm wondering if there's like little different factions or something I can like use against each other, or if there's some more like open-minded factions, or maybe the more like venom I have, the more like they're like, oh, you're cool, you're one of us. So I am curious to see how I navigate it when I get the city itself, because again, I feel me as a person, I'm like, oh, there's a city of evil creatures that would want to destroy me on sight. And also, I'm glad I just remembered this. I want to give a shout out to Richard Kelly. He's like the writer of this. He's the designer of this. So Richard, I'm loving this game. Thank you so much. Obviously, Alex T, I love this game as well. The setting that you created, that Richard has taken and formed into this really fun little domain. So sorry about that. I should have done my due diligence. I'm never going to do that. And realize that this actually did have another writer on top of Alex T for this. Now I'm curious to like kind of look and see what else you've done. Oh man, the rabbit holes I'm going to fall through with this. So that's it. Again, this is Nethalas Gravebound Edition by Alex T and Black Oath Entertainment, and this is Warren of the Ratkin by Richard Kelly. Thank you so much, both of you, and until next time, stay dorky, my friends.